a zoo. YouTuber vlogging, backwards kappa wearing. Rudy's a zoo. Rudy's a zoo. Rudy's a zoo. Hi, and welcome to Rudy's a Zoo's Science Fantasy Experience and toy hunting. So I have been to Totton Toy Fair today, and it just got me thinking that I have been toy hunting way more lately, for sure. And I just kind of wanted to talk about what toy hunting means to me before I get into what I picked up as of, I don't know, I guess the last week. Because toy hunting it's an integral part of the way that I collect. And when I use the word toy hunting in my videos, I guess I want people to understand or get an idea of what, the toy hunting is for me, as I said. Because it's so much more than just going to Smith's Toys or to any of the big chains. Sadly, Toys R Us has gone, but that's not part of it for me. I don't frequent the big chain stores. Toy hunting for me is this crazy amalgamation of hitting up a few toy fairs, going to charity shops, hitting up car boot sales, going online at certain points of the evening and just thinking, I'm going to go onto eBay for an hour and have a look for certain toys that I want to gauge prices. Or it could even be, I will, type in action figure suppliers, but I won't go for the first hit because I know it's going to bring up all of the main, toy retailers online, ID Toys, Kapow, those types of things, which are great companies to order from for sure. I've always been pleasantly pleased with what I've picked up at Kapow for sure. Andy and the team do incredible work, and they have got in stuff that I wouldn't have expected before. But I will often go to 3 or 4 pages further on through Google, and I've come across some other websites that sell action figures, and you can often find them at maybe £2 or £3 cheaper, or actually find them in stock. Half the time when I go onto Forbidden Planet, it's out of stock, or it was once on pre-order, but they didn't get enough pre-orders to fulfill them being able to restock it after the release date. I've missed out on some DC collectibles for sure. I can't find Scarecrow now, and I can't find Two-Face, and everywhere I look now they are going out of stock. But if you go 3 or 4 pages down through Google, you can come across some websites that are just way smaller, but they've still got these figures that maybe are slightly less in production or a little bit obscure, that they've still got them in stock, and because maybe they've not sold for them, they are £2 or £3 cheaper, as I said. Comics and Cocktails, I've literally only just found them a few weeks ago, and I think it's something like Starshine figures or something. This was a one that I found, and it looked like a website from 2005, but what they had in stock was incredible. So yeah, sometimes the toy hunt is online. It's not necessarily always being out in the wild, but the wild is where a lot of the magic happens for sure. Sadly for me, car boot sales, I look on various social networking sites and I see people picking up incredible stuff, whether it's a YouTube video of what they've picked up or just incredible photos of what, the bits that they find at car boot sales. And I could not find anything good at all. I think once my wife found a really rare Playmobil set from the mid-90s, and we snapped that up straight away, and I picked up a couple of Mantiforce figures. But you know, Zora has told me this story of picking up Scorponok for like £13, and it's nuts. And I don't ever find it. I don't find these sweet deals in car boot sales at all. So that's always part of the hunt that's been eluded me. But you can go into a charity shop and, you know, find incredible stuff for just a couple of quid, or you can just go into a random collectible second-hand place and pick up Ultimate Warrior. This is the part of toy collecting and having a collection and going on the toy hunt. And as I mentioned before, the toy fair is just so much fun because you're there with like-minded people as well as everyday people just popping past. You know, if it's a smaller one like the one I went today in Totton, which is a tiny little, I don't even think it's a town, a tiny little village on the outskirts of Southampton, so it's not far from Portsmouth at all, where I live. And I'll get on to how it played out a little bit later. And then you go to ones like at the NEC, which is a giant room, and as I said, it's full of like-minded people and just everyday people interested in toys, whether it be for their kids or for themselves, or just to grab a bite of nostalgia. You know, that it's the thing that fuels my collection. It is always nostalgia, and whether that comes from vintage or modern makes no difference to me. Yeah, the toy hunt. But I'm sure you don't want to hear me banging on about my idiosyncratic ways of collecting and living vicariously through the toy hunt. I'm sure you want to see what I've managed to pick up. Many months ago, I looked at getting a WWF retro collection figure, and I saw the Wave 9 figures being released. You know, this is like months before I picked up the Ultimate Warrior. Just was it like a couple of weeks ago on a whim that there he was, and I bought him. Previous to that, I've just wanted to get more wrestling figures in the collection. Brave John Geek Day for that one, for sure. And I saw the Wave 9 reveals, and Gold Dust was in the Wave, and I was just like, I've got to have that. That's just a completely gold action figure. And I was just like, wow, what do you think of like the Gold Dust figure, to Dave Shotton? And he was like, yeah, it looks incredible. I was like, you wouldn't have thought Dustin Rhodes, would get another figure. And I'm like, who? What? Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is Gold Dust. And he's like, yeah, he made his debut in 96, maybe 95. And I'm like, Dustin Rhodes from WCW, from the era that I love, from 92 to 95. He's like, yeah, it's the same guy. And I'm like, are you for real? Like, I was just literally going to buy this action figure because it looked cool. Not that it was an actual wrestler that I like. So yeah, I found out that Dustin Rhodes was Gold Dust, and he gets an absolutely awesome action figure. Stay tuned for a review of this bad boy soon. Yeah, I popped in the pre-order, forgot about it, and it literally got delivered yesterday. So yeah, I'm stoked to get that. I think I've done this like twice now. I've put in pre-orders, paid up front, and then forgot about them. So when I get new toys in, I'm like, all right, new toys for free, because I'd forgotten I'd already paid for it. So it doesn't feel like I've spent a lot of money. And to be honest, what I've picked up, I've not gone cash crazy either, you know. Selling stuff has paid for all of this. I've just moved a lot of things on, whether it's, as I mentioned before, I'm selling my record collection to pay for my toys now. But I've actually sold on some pieces of Lego and some Transformers. I just had too many Transformers in the collection, just ones that were gathering dust, or just ones that I just have no connection to. So too much Transformers, too many bits of Lego in the collection. So a way to fund the collection is that, because anything else that gets sold is going towards the babies fund for the twins. Another order that I'd totally forgotten all about, and it's something that I've been desperate to dip into, is Marvel Legends. For years, just I wasn't interested in Marvel Legends at all. There was never any in the various lines that I wanted, but watching more and more reviews of them and seeing key characters that I absolutely adore in both the comics and subsequent 90s Marvel cartoons, I'm just like, yes, I want a representation of that. And the first one up is Forge. I was desperate to get a Marvel Legend, as I said, and it was quite a hard choice, because in this wave you've got Gambit, Beast, you've got Weapon X, Forge, Blink, Jubilee, and Skullbuster. Sadly, I don't know who Skullbuster is, and I have no interest in Blink. I've already got a Wolverine, so it was kind of going down the choices of Gambit or Forge. Beast looks really, really good for sure, but the head sculpt for me is a little bit off. I like the soft, cuddly Beast from the 90s cartoon, not the overly aggressive, big, angry mouth Beast that the figure does. So, kind of got it down to two. It was either Gambit or Forge. And I really like the Gambit figure. He's got some translucent pieces that really make the figure pop. But for my love of Jim Lee comics and Todd McFarlane and the 90s X-Men cartoon, I had to go with Forge. He's just a key part of X-Factor that I love. And even though I've not got these guys out of the package yet, which, you know, I'm going to do reviews of all pretty much all the things I get, whether it's through the Science Fancy experience or Figure Force, they're going to be up. I'm so glad that it's not too much of a bright yellow. It's a bit more muted, but I'll get into that when I do a proper review. And then the other Marvel Legend figure is Hydro Man. So I couldn't go to Southampton and not have a quick look in Forbidden Planet. Even though I'd spent a bit of cash at the toy fair, I'd left a little bit over because some of the baby stuff I got today was in the sale. So I'd got a little bit of spare cash and went into Forbidden Planet, and there he was. Huge Hydro Man fan. Originally first seeing him in the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s, and then that led to a little bit of a resurgence for me in rereading a load of Spider-Man comics with some of the key characters that had been in the show, and to learn much more about Hydro Man and all that translucent plastic. I'm super excited to again review this guy and have a look at him properly. So yeah, they're the bits that I just picked up on a toy hunt from a slightly different way, you know. A pre-order, forgotten about, checking through online and then just taking a chance at Forbidden Planet and seeing what was there. But what was the most exciting part of the day on the toy hunt was the toy fair. It had been a while since I'd been to one. I even think it might have been the NEC one in February that I went with Assault Rider, Dave and Emily. And just walking into that smaller hall, it was just really, it was super exciting. It was awesome. It was just, it's the things that I love about toys. It's just seeing the passion in people's faces and the excitement, especially because, you know, when you go to toy fairs, it's that crazy eclectic mix of beaters, junkers, pristine, carded, tubs of just loose figures everywhere for you to rummage around and sneak a gem. And I did like that early bird, so I got there at 11. I always feel that you want to get there as early as possible because you just know that you're going to be that one person that finds that little gem. And I found 2 for sure. A little piece of my childhood returned, which was the one I picked up first. It's not a holy grail, but it's pretty much a most wanted. And then the final choice was pretty much like unexpected, and I'm stoked to own all these 3. I just wouldn't have expected to get them. So I first get in, and maybe a third of the way around, I start to have a proper look, because the first couple of stores I looked at was very much Hot Wheels and Lego, comic books, and I was just like, I'm going nowhere near those sort of things. And I get round a little bit of the corner, and there's a guy with maybe about 7 or 8 trays, bins, just in a completely random selection. And there is a Starcom Laser RAT, the Rapid Assault Tracker, and I'm like, ooh, Starcom, that's not yellow, because they are incredibly well known for yellowing. And I just thought, oh, I'll have a quick look, because I've kind of been interested in getting reacquainted with Starcom again, but they command quite hefty prices secondary market now, and a lot of them, as I said, they yellow quite badly, or cream. They go from white to cream quite easily. And then I just thought, right, I'm just gonna, if the mechanism works, because, you know, they've got the power deploy, which is trademarked, if it works, I would be like, yeah, I'm getting this. So yeah, you literally, if I get that on camera, click the button, flips up the bit, and it motorizes into position, and then you can extend the wheels. And there you have the Rapid Assault Tracker from Starcom. I used to have a few of these as a kid because their entry price was $4.99. So, you know, a month of saving and mowing the lawn, I could always kind of get a £5 toy. So I ended up with, I think I had 3 different ones. I had the white Starwing, and I think one of the black. I sadly can't remember any of the names. But one was a white fighter, which I had, and the one was an enemy kind of attack vessel. Oh, I need these flip out to the side, and then they come with magnets, so you can place your Starcom pilot either inside or on top. So yeah, that was the first pickup, and the guy wanted £2. All I wanted to know was that it worked. and then I was hooked. And then the guy was just like, yeah, £2 cool. He's just like, yeah, I've got a few of these knocking around. And I'm like, no, I just one's good. I'm not a crazy collector that needs to own loads in the line. But yeah, I just wanted to grab one that I didn't have as a kid. So yeah, so that was the first pickup. Then I literally go on to the next stall, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something late 80s, super day glow, and I'm like, please, please, let that be what I think it is. And it was a shish kebab Beetlejuice in like minty condition. I couldn't believe it. And it comes with all the skewers. So yeah, Beetlejuice in all his glory. You know, it comes out of that period of the late 80s, early 90s, when films that are not necessarily for kids get toy lines. And it's super day glow. It's made by Kenner, so it feels literally just like a real Ghostbuster. It's just so incredibly well made. And yeah, you get four of the skewers which go into the holes at the back. Yeah, one that's a skull, one that's a spider or a bat. Spider bat. Yeah, that's the thing. And you literally just slot them through his back to give him that really horrific look. He's so day glow. He's just so late 80s, early 90s action figure. It's untrue. And the fact that this toy line got made, I remember just going through the Argos catalogue weeks on end, and just whenever I got enough pocket money to get a toy or an action figure, I'd go to Argos and I would try and get the Beetlejuice toys. And the dumb thing with Argos was, it's action figure supplied, styles might vary, and just we'd go to the counter, type in the 3 digits and then the 4 digits, and it'd be like, oh yes, it'll come down to you. And then it would come down and it would just not be the one that you wanted. And then my mum would like, or my dad would be just like, no, this isn't the one we want. And they'd either try and get them to send down the actual one, half the time they didn't have it. So yeah, as I said, it's not exactly Holy Grail, but I've wanted one for a long, long time, ever not having one as a kid. But the beauty of this is toys astounding you years later. So I was having a look at Beetlejuice on the way home on the train, and I grabbed it out of the bag, and his head had popped off, and I was just like, oh my god, I've just broken a toy. Oh, this sucks, man. I've literally not even had a chance to do it. I didn't know that the head pops off and it's an actual eyeball. Toys that can astound you 35 years later. Incredible. I had no recollection that it did this at all. I just thought you put the cool skewers through his body, but no, he has an eyeball underneath his head. He's such a cool action figure. So yeah, that was literally like 10 minutes in. And then finally made my way around and I saw that Bugsy's Toy Box were there, Mugsy and Ben, and they're fellow toy collectors and enthusiasts from Portsmouth. And I was just like, because I met them briefly at the NEC back in December for about 30 seconds, but I always want to kind of support local toy collectors to myself and other YouTubers, because they just do incredible videos and they find the best stuff at car booths and toy fairs. And I'll drop a link to their channel, because if you like eclectic toys like I do, or like my collection, then they're the guys to watch. And they're so diverse, and because they do it as a pair, you get to see both their interpretations of toys and what is meaningful to them. So I popped round to see their stall, and I was just like, I really want to get something from their stall just to offer my support. And I was just going through that stuff, and I couldn't decide. And then I picked up some of the hologram warriors, and I was just like, yeah, I think I want one of these. But before then, I'd actually picked up some Beetleborgs, and I put them back down. And then I went for that, the draw of the hologram. And then I was just like, Ben, can I change my mind? I think I want the Beetleborgs. So yeah, I put the hologram warriors back, and instead I went for some Beetleborgs. Just because I needed some fat metalized plastic in my life, and he pops. He is so shiny. It's incredible. This back in that mid-90s when VR Troopers, Masked Rider, Kamen Rider and Beetleborgs infected our TV shows on the weekend. It was mind-blowing. I'd never seen anything Super Sentai at all. And by that time, I've mentioned it on so many videos, I just wasn't collecting toys at age 15, 16, or even playing with toys. So toys were never, a part of it. And then to see them, I was just like, they're incredible, they're super cool. And it's just something I never would have gravitated to. It's something I didn't go looking for at all. The only thing is missing an antenna. Everything else is, it's super, super minty, and that I can live with, A year ago, I'd be like, oh, I can't take it, it's got a missing antenna. But no, not at all. So yeah, my thanks to Mugsy and Ben for hooking me up with such cool action figures straight out of left field. I'm super stoked. So yeah, that was my eventful day at the toy fair. Oh no, it wasn't. Actually, I was showing Mugsy, I'd picked up a Starcom, and he was like, yeah, I'd love me a little bit of Starcom. And he was just like, do you need a guy? Do you need a driver for that? And I'm like, hell yeah, sure I do. And he's just like, have you got some spare for sale? And it's like, no, you can have one. And I'm like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, you've got to have a driver. So yeah, here we have one of the Starcom drivers, or pilots. And also trademarked, they Magnalock, so they have magnets on the bottom. So you can then place them wherever you like on the vehicle that has the magnet. So yeah, you can man the laser cannons, or you can have him sitting inside, driving the vehicle. Yeah, so a complete Starcom. Toy hunting, the toy hunt may long continue. Thanks to Ben and Mugsy and Bugsy's Toy Box. Thanks to you guys for watching. I'm sure this video has gone for like half an hour. Stay tuned to the channel, because I'm definitely gonna do some Marvel Legends reviews. I'm definitely gonna review Gold Dust, and maybe even give the Beetleborgs a proper look on a Figure Force video. Thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye.